Welcome back. It is the second episode of Breweries of the Bluegrass. We appreciate you tuning in for a second week. Last week we talked about one of the older of the breweries here in the Bluegrass with Alltech, i.e. Lexington Brewing and Distilling. Still a mouthful, I just say Alltech. This episode we're going to talk about someone who's a little over a year old. We're going to talk about Sig Luscher. And forgive me if I mispronounce that. My Swiss, not German, my Swiss is not what it should be. Founded in Frankfort in 2018. Really fun story and great to have them in Frankfort. So for those of you not from the great Commonwealth of Kentucky or haven't lived here in a while, Frankfort is our state capital. Now Frankfort's not a big town. It's a town, but it's certainly not a metropolitan area. But for Frankfort has not had a brewery operating for over 100 years. Now we have had this little distillery. It puts out some products that no one really likes. I think it's called Buffalo Trace. They put out a few things. It's not really, I'm being very tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, everyone knows Buffalo Trace, Pappy, Buffalo Trace, Sazerac. They're a big behemoth. They've operated other than Prohibition that whole time, but our state capital has not had a brewery until just the past little over a year. Kind of says something, a couple different things about beer here in the Bluegrass. You can look at it positive and negative. If you look at it in the negative, what took you so long? Obviously, brown water is so much more important than beer. Or how the positive side, how awesome is it that this grassroots event movement for craft breweries even got to the point where a city the size of Frankfort has now got a brewery that makes some quality beer. I prefer to look at it positive. I'm happy we're growing, and I'm happy Sig Luscher showed up. A little bit about their story. They're multiple greats. Grandson of Sig is the one who him and a partner have founded the brewery. It's based on a recipe that their, once again, multiple great grandfather came up with from Switzerland when they came over. Now Switzerland, Germany, Austria, the Alps region tend to go with the lager style beers. Now the main two yeasts that are used in beer are lager and ales. Ales are really popular with the craft movement. They like the warmer temperatures, shorter incubation periods, so it's, I wouldn't say easier, but kind of easier, more cost-effective to make. Lagers come from the German region and they tend to like the colder area. Once again, if you're in Germany or in the mountains of the Alps, you got caves that you can just sit in and it keeps cool for weeks on end. Also, the other reason the craft movement kind of prefers ales, the big three. I'm not going to bash the big three, but they are what they are. Tend to be the lager styles. So the whole craft movement was kind of born out of, we want to try something besides the same old lager over and over again, which kind of is a shame because they're really great lager style beers, and it's cool that the craft beer movement's coming back and discovering that when it's done right, they can be really crisp, refreshing, and have some wonderful flavors there. Sig Luscher, another thing that they've done that's really neat, harkening back to their roots, they actually got Swiss yeast where their great-great-grandfather or multiple great-grandfathers probably used, since he was from Switzerland, used a Swiss yeast. Yeast can have episodes and books, and they do, on the different varieties and the different flavors they all bring. Just know that a yeast from Switzerland is not going to be the same from Bavaria, Austria, Germany. They're all going to be a little different. So it's neat that they're doing it with that style. Now they are located in Frankfort. I don't go as often as I would like to do. The little tap room is a lot of fun though. They're always busy on Facebook. I will make sure to do a link down in the description. Their Facebook page are always doing events. Love their mission statement that they want to make sure that they're part of the community. They want to make sure downtown Frankfort's thriving in their area. And it's just a fun little place. It's a ball to go to. But unfortunately, Frankfort, it's kind of a day. Especially if I go to drink a couple beers, it's a half hour away. So responsible drinking, which you need to be. So Pilsner style, lots of fun, great history. It's fun to have them there and have them start up. Now, I'm not going to be cracking this one because I'm going to be cracking this Bomber. Remember that little distillery I mentioned that's just up the road from them? It's Buffalo and anyway, okay, tongue-in-cheek aside again. Buffalo Trace, they've partnered with them a lot on different barrel aging, which I think is really neat because they've done a common style beer that's aged in E.H. Taylor barrels, which I can't wait. Yeah, this has actually been sitting up in the closet for what, a month or so? Maybe like a month, maybe two. Whereas barrel aged, I'm not as near worried about it. Common is a fun style. It's a lager yeast, but it's fermented at warmer temperatures. It's originally called California Common. They did it around the Bay Area where the breezes come in off the bay in San Francisco. They were hoping it would keep the lager cool enough. It didn't work, but it got a really good flavor. So I think it's really fun that a brewery that tends to specialize in this style of yeast is doing this style of beer, and also with that little distillery right behind them that they're using their barrels. So we are going to uncork this. I'm going to put it in two different style glasses because I'm not sure. Usually you drink, a pint glass for most of your lagers and pilsners. But where it's barrel aged, I'm also going to do this semi-tulip shape because I don't know how much nose I'm going to get off of this. So it's going to be kind of curious. Also, I do apologize. It's a beautiful bottle. It's a wonderful resealable one, but I don't know alcohol content on it. Good. Ooh, that's a nice pop. Fairly comfortable. It's still going to be high gravity, but I don't know how high gravity that's going to be. So when you are on the Bourbon Trail, because you'll be visiting Buffalo Trace.
But they're not on the Bourbon Trail.
Castle and Key. Well, you don't come to Kentucky and visit Bourbon without going to Buffalo Trace. Castle and Key or Woodford. Make sure to take a little bit out of your time. Go down to downtown. Ooh, that's a pretty color. That's a really pretty color. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit. No, not flat. Ooh, yeah, I can smell it. Smell the vanillas. So you might have heard of Common before. It's unfortunately TM trademark name, so I need to tread lightly. Please don't sue me, Anchor Steam. But Anchor Steam was the ones that kept it alive and kept it popularized. One of the grandfathers of the craft brewery movement. Thank goodness for them. They kept the flags flying. But it used to be called Steam Style, where Anchor Steam was so well known for it, they just trademarked their name, so it got turned into Common. Wow, that's a fun color. Let me see if yeah. There's a nose, and you could tell. I don't think it's concentrated enough that you couldn't get away with just a pint glass. I'll put this aside for the producer, and let me take a sip. Oh, you can taste that barrel. Once again, I think it's unique that they're doing this style barrel aged because, like our last episode, it was an ale and a stout from Alltech, i.e. Lexington Brewing and Distilling. God, that is a mouthful. Like I said, that's why we always call them Alltech. So it's unique to have this style, but it's a hybrid. It's not exactly a true lager because it's aged at a warmer temperature, so you get more esters in it than you would get in a typical lager, but not enough where it's an ale, and then you get the barrel aging. It's a fun combination. If the guys at Sig do catch this video, please comment on what the alcohol content was on this, how long the barrel, any details you can give. I would highly recommend this. That is lighter and crisper than what we had with the bourbon barrel ale, but you can still tell a lot of good vanilla notes in that. So second episode in the books, yay. Once again, a new brewery, and we're having breweries pop up all the time. We were at one of the ones that we'll probably review in a few episodes in Danville a couple weeks ago. Really neat styles out there. They're just popping up in these small communities, and our breweries of the Commonwealth need some love, especially the Brewgrass here and on the YouTube and out there on lots of social media. Kentucky Beer Network's a great one to pick up on social media too. I will see you guys in a couple weeks. We'll review another new to the Commonwealth brewery, and appreciate you checking in. We will see you in a couple weeks.